Hello, scrapbooking buddies. Debbie Martin here, ready for our November edition of the Savvy Scrapbookers. This month, Nicole So, Donna Guest, and myself, we are using the beautiful Grateful Harvest line. We're using the paper and the stickers. So when you're done making my pages, make sure you hop to the 2 links below so you can do 6 pages in all. Let's get started. This is what you're going to need today. You're going to need this piece of paper with the leaves and the coffee mugs. You're going to need the orange polka dot, this kind of splatter gray, and the splatter brown. That's what I'm using. And you're also going to need some stuff from the cutting system. I am using the rectangle, and this is the smaller rectangle. I'm using the heart and the smallest oval. Okay, and if you don't have these, well, you can figure out somehow to make it work. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So our background papers, we're going to set this one aside because we actually don't have to do anything with this one. So let's set that one aside. And the leaves and the apples, leaves, I guess it's acorns and pumpkins. We're going to start with that. Grab your trimmer. And leaves and coffee. So the paper is going to be this direction on the page. So I kind of made it where these coffee cups are correct because the leaves are kind of just all over. So we need 2 5x12 strips. So 2 of those. You're left over with this 2-inch. So set that aside. Then we're going to use this gray splatter. It's got the fun leaves on the back. And we are going to need 2 2x12 strips. I hope you're having a good day. We're having a little snow here today. That's a little crazy. Okay, we're going to be cutting some other stuff out of this. Right now we're just going to cut the strips. And then we're going to be welding our leaves. So we're going to use this as our coffee because we're making a fun coffee cup. So what we need to begin with is we need to cut 4 inches off of this. So it's leaving us with 8. Okay, so we're cutting the 4 inch, then we're going to be doing stuff with that. So set that aside. And then let's go ahead and lay out our pages real quick because we're going to put this. We are going to be adding one of these pieces, and it's going to overlap 1 inch. Okay, so grab your adhesive, and normally adhesive I'd only put a few on here, but I'm going to put a little bit because we're welding this. Okay, so I want to make sure that it ends up being 12x12. So put it on your mat just like that. Line it up nice and straight. Okay, and that's what you got. Now, we are going to take these strips right here, and you can either put it on first or you can cut it. So I think I actually want to put it underneath. So I'm just going to pick this up a little bit. It's going to come 1 inch down. So I'm going to go at it and put adhesive on here. We're going to slip it underneath here. Put this back on the square and put that at the 1 inch. And then make sure that on this side, it's also on the 1 inch. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing over here, only I'm going to put it at 1 inch on the bottom. So go ahead and put your adhesive on that. 1 inch from the bottom, just like that. And then this piece is going to come in and come right here. So go ahead and put your adhesive on that. Just like this. Make sure it's nice and straight. And stick that down. So when we divided it up, I got these adorable little coffee, pumpkin spice, cider, fun little long strips. So that this is going to go right up here, and I'm going to try to put the bottom of it, about the middle of it, at the 1/2 inch line. So This was 1 inch down, so that's gonna be kind of in the middle of that, just like that, and it'll really pop on this side. So I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. So the middle of it's kind of going right here at the 1/2 inch line. So let's make sure we got this nice and straightened. Put that over here. So fun, so fun. Okay, let's see. I think we are ready to start making our coffee cup. So let's set these aside for a minute. We're gonna bring these 2 leftover pieces that we had. So what we wanna do is our coffee base is gonna be made out of this. So you need a 4 by 4. And I usually bring up Post-its, and I'm so sorry, I forgot to do that. So 4 by 4, just take it down here, bring it over to the 4-inch line. Okay, that's the base of our coffee. Now what we're gonna need is we're gonna take the smallest oval, we're gonna put that right in here, and we're gonna be using the green blade on the outside. Okay. So let's just bring that in right like this. I usually have to stand up to do this. I feel like I get better pressure. Let me know in the comments, do you stand up to use the cutting system? I feel like I get a more even pressure when I do that. Okay, so we need that. And we also need the handle. So this is what I'm using for the handle. So let's just see if we can save a little paper here. So I could have extra mats out here if I wanted. And we're gonna start with the blue blade, and then we're gonna move to the red blade, okay? So what we're doing is we're bringing it over maybe a little, it's not quite half, just a little bit more than half. And let's make sure we drop it enough. Put both of these little grooves, if you haven't used this before, go into the little grooves of the cutting system. And I'm gonna bring it back that direction. And then we're gonna bring this all the way around. So now we don't wanna move this, okay? So we're gonna just pick that up, bring the red one in. Make sure both feet are in the grooves. Then you kind of gotta get your fingers out of the way as you bring this around. Okay, and there we go. There's our handle. Okay, perfect. So now we need this because we're going to need some coffee for our coffee mug. So we're going to bring this back over because this is kind of where our coffee was, and we used green on that one. So we are going to use red on this one. And this almost looks like a little coffee with a splash of cream in it. And we're using the red on that one. Okay, there's our coffee. Perfect. Now we need to take this. Now, if you don't have this punch, there are all kinds of different, you could use any of the blades on the cutting system to give you a little swell. I am using the white capped waves. This isn't available anymore. You can check with your favorite advisor. She might have one of these on her shelf for you, but we're only needing a few of these little waves because we're going to cut it apart, kind of for our steam. So we're going to punch it 3 times. Okay, and we don't need this. Let's get rid of that. And take that off of there. And I think we're ready to start putting it all together. So let's move our tools out of the way here. And let's put our coffee cup together. So this was our left side. This was our right side. So let's bring our photos in. Me and my daughter, my granddaughter, love coffee. So they were here last weekend, and we were just taking some fun pictures of coffee. We were in the backyard taking some pictures. We took a few pictures at church, at the coffee bar. So I went ahead and matted these because my pictures were really busy Like, you would not need to mat these unless you wanted to, okay? But I did mat them with some hot fudge just because they were so busy. I had a busy sweater on. She had a fun t-shirt on. So I did just go ahead and mat those. And then my daughter looking at my granddaughter. Let's bring those in. So let's stick those down, and then we can finish our coffee mug and the few little stickers we have today. Let me know in the comments, are you a coffee lover? I feel like most people either like it or don't like it. There's kind of no in between, but maybe there is. I don't know. I just remember as a kid, I'd be at my grandfather's house, and they would wake up early. They were farmers, and they would have bacon frying up in the pan and coffee. So for me, like, it's just a childhood memory that I absolutely love. So let's go ahead and put these down. These are just 4x6 pictures. They're gonna fit perfect in this little space that you got right here. So you're just kind of centering those. And even my granddaughter loves coffee. So that's perfect like that. And let's put our coffee cup together. I'm going to scoot this up just a smidge because we got to do a few things with it. So let's start with just putting the coffee in the mug right here. So that's just going to go just like that. Okay. Now let's make our mug. So this is where this kind of comes in handy. And I'm going to use a little bit of repo. So I'm going to put a little repo on back to keep it from moving. I'm going to bring it down here and put it in this corner. Actually, I'm going to move it over just a little bit, and you're going to see why. Okay, so I got my square there, and it's kind of stick down. Now I'm going to take this. I want to come up 2 inches here, and I want to come in 1 inch here. And I am bringing it over just so this kind of hits the 2, but I also want to round the edge. So I pushed it up a little bit, okay? So right here at the 2 inch line. And if you're not working on a mat, mark at the 2 inch and mark at the 1. And then you can probably corner round this edge. I'm going to use the red blade on this just to give it a little bit of a curve on here. So the 2 inch and the 1. Okay. And there we got a nice little curve. Now, if you don't have this and you're doing this freehand, you're just simply going to take this piece that you just cut and line it up and do it again. But once again, I know that I'm doing it at the 2 inch. I'm making sure this is at the 2. I'm giving it a little rounded corner down here at the 1. And take that off. And there's our coffee cup. It's a simple one. And let's put it together. So now we're done with this. We're done with our red blade. We're going to put our steam on in just a second. And this simply is going to be, we're going to line it up so that the white is the white. Now there's going to be a little piece sticking out, and that's going to be fine because you're going to trim that with scissors. So let's just add a little bit of tape right there. Come back in here. Line up the edge. So it's about a third, maybe it's a little less than half. But line it up. I'm going to hold it so you can see it. So that this white is the edge of the cup. And yes, it sticks out a little bit. So grab your scissors and just give that a little trim. And give this a little trim on this side. Perfect. Okay, now we got to put our handle on. So we're going to flip it over. I'm going to put a little adhesive right here and right here. And you can either put your cup on straight or you could put your cup on an angle, whatever you like. I think I'm going to move it in a little bit. About like, oops, stick this down, stick that down. Put a little adhesive on that, and we've got us some coffee. So I made it big enough so that you could put a picture on it, okay? So I kind of looked through our pictures. My daughter took a funny picture of me, and I think I'm gonna put it on a little bit of an angle, like that. About like that, okay? And I did put a picture. I just quick corner rounded a little tiny picture. Gonna stick that in there. We do love our coffee. Now we need the little steam coming off, and that's what we cut with this. So you could cut that with the brown. If you wanted to use it in a different color, you can totally do that. But let me just show you what I did. I wanted to get the full like swell of this. So start with your first full one. You can see how it goes up. And then just kind of go with the line. And there's one. We're going to do 3 all together. 2 and 3. And once again, if you don't have this, you could freehand this with a little bit of brown paper. Flip one around just so they look a little bit different. And then let's add our stickers. Let's stick this down just so that they don't go anywhere. So grab your repo. That'll be the easiest thing to do. And I don't know, let's kind of stick them close together. And we're going to put one of them upside down just for fun. But you know what? You can do whatever you want to do when you're doing this. Maybe make it go up a little bit. Maybe make this one go down a little bit. There we go. Okay, let's add some stickers. We need something up here. So let's do this fun wreath. I'm going to bring it in about right here. And then I've got the word thankful because I'm thankful for my kids. I'm thankful for my grandkids. And I am thankful for coffee. So let's go ahead and stick that down. And if you don't like coffee, this could be hot chocolate. This could be hot apple cider. It could be whatever you like. Okay, thankful. I think I'm going to just bring that here to the side, just like that. Okay. Now we need something about our cold days, and so we're going to bring in cold days and hot drinks. Let's bring us a couple drinks in right here. So I got a drink for here. We cut apart our stickers so that we can divide them easier. So let's just bring in a couple leaves. So I think I'm going to pop the cold days because it kind of is about the drinks right here and about family. So let's do leaves kind of just like that. Grab a couple foam squares. Let me know what the weather's like by you today. Here in Northwest Indiana, we had 4 or 5 inches of snow today. And yes, it is November. And yet, it still snowed. So, I don't know. The first snow was kind of pretty to me. Okay. There we go. And now we need a little something up here. So how about love fall most of all? And I think we got to pop that one. Just a little pop. And let's make sure we didn't forget anything. I'm going to put that right here, kind of right at the peak. And we're going to throw in one little leaf because I think we need a leaf there. So kind of tuck that in right there. And there we have it. I hope you enjoyed this little coffee mug today. And make sure you check out Nicole and Donna's pages so you can complete 6 pages in all. Happy scrapbooking!